We're saying that we took the knee. He's thinking we took the knee.
Willis counts that as a knockdown. Lamont wins with a knockdown. Lamont wins by 1 point on 2 scorecards. Those times, there's a count, dude. And I'll tell you what, Steve Willis also knew there was a count because he started counting and then stopped.
Referee Steve Willis initially began counting when Gervonta took a knee during his fight against Lamont Roach, but then stopped, sparking controversy. Willis has now addressed the incident, which drew debate over whether it should have been ruled a knockdown. Instead of calling it as such, he allowed the fight to continue without a count, leading to discussions on the correctness of his decision.
We're saying that we took the knee. He's thinking we took the knee. Gotcha. Can't speak on that? You do some bullshit though? Yes. No personal opinion, nothing? Yeah.
Experts have analyzed the moment Tank Davis took a knee against Lamont Roach, comparing it to past instances where fighters voluntarily went down without a clear punch landing. Notable examples include Floyd Mayweather against Carlos Famoso Hernandez, Miguel Cotto against Antonio Margarito, and Chris Algieri against Ruslan Provodnikov. All cases where referees counted the knockdowns. However, in Davis's case, referee Steve Willis initially started counting but then abruptly stopped, sparking debate over whether it should have been officially ruled a knockdown or if Willis made the right call by allowing the fight to continue.
Also, Famoso Hernandez, when he lands the punch and turns his back and takes a knee, he gets counted. You think of Miguel Cotto against Antonio Margarito, where, you know, it was the rest, and he just took that knee. And of course, my compadre right here, Chris Algieri against Ruslan Provodnikov as well. It wasn't a particular shot. You feel something, you feel discomfort, you take a knee. All those times, there's a count, dude. And I'll tell you what, Steve Willis also knew there was a count because he started counting and then stopped.
Referee Steve Willis's decision to start counting and then stop when Tank Davis took a knee against Lamont Roach has sparked debate over whether it was a legitimate knockdown. Respected referee Jack Rice weighed in, explaining that boxing rules give referees full authority to decide if a fighter is down or if the fight should continue. He highlighted the referee's role in managing fouls, issuing warnings, deducting points, or disqualifying fighters based on the severity of the situation. Rice clarified that a knockdown is only official if a fighter's body, other than their feet, touches the canvas due to a legal punch. The key question, he noted, is whether Davis was actually knocked down, or if he voluntarily took a knee to clear his vision after dealing with grease in his eyes, further fueling the controversy.
Let me just put out to you guys three rules of what a referee has to follow. First of all, the referee is the sole arbiter, the only person able to determine whether you stop a fight or not, and anything else that happens in a ring. Second is part of his ability to do things when fouls occur. For boxing fouls or action in unsportsmanlike manner during the bout or in between rounds, the referee should admonish or disqualify the offending boxer, depending upon the severity of the offense. And number 3, talks about penalizing and points. While warnings are generally preferred, the severity of a foul can warrant the immediate point deduction without any prior warnings. So now, what gives a referee the ability to call what you guys are talking about as a knockdown? I don't know if you guys know. Maybe you can tell me. If not, I'll surely tell you. Do you guys know what a description of a legal knockdown is?
Stephen A. Smith and Shannon Sharp debated the fight, with Smith agreeing with the official result, while Sharp believed Lamont Roach should have won. Sharp argued that despite Tank Davis landing strong punches, Roach responded with equal, or harder shots and maintained pressure throughout the fight. He also questioned Davis taking a knee, comparing it to Floyd Mayweather's similar moment against Carlos Hernandez, which resulted in a standing count. Sharp suggested that if Davis had been given the same treatment and the knee was counted as a knockdown, it could have altered the outcome. While acknowledging the fight was close, he felt Roach edged out a 1-point win. The controversy over the knee and the final score has only fueled calls for a rematch between the two fighters.
You voluntarily took a knee midway through this fight. It was not ruled a knockdown. What happened?
I just got my hair done 2 days ago, and she picked grease in my shit, so the shit was like, you know, like when you sweat and things like that, and the grease come in my face, it burnt my eyes type shit. Damn, why y'all going like I'm saying bullshit? Like, this is real bad. Come on, man. Look at my hair. I just got my shit done. But it's all cool, man. You know how I get. They love you and then they hate you. Turn around and love you again.
Veteran boxing trainer Andis, with over 40 years of experience, shared his thoughts on Tank Davis taking a knee against Lamont Roach, admitting he had never seen anything like it before. He was surprised that Davis knelt and then ran to his corner to have his face wiped, something that typically results in a referee's count. Andis also noted that referee Steve Willis initially began counting but then stopped, adding to the controversy. He acknowledged Davis's star power and its importance to boxing, but pointed out that some believe the move should have led to disqualification, as seeking assistance by sticking one's head through the ropes is not allowed. As debates continue, analysts and fans remain divided over whether the knee should have been ruled a knockdown, or even grounds for disqualification.
I agree with you, Steve. I agree with you, Stephen A. But I thought Lamont Roach actually won the fight. Okay. Even though Tank Davis hit him with some good, clean, hard shots, Roach came back and hit him with just as hard, if not harder, shot than what he took from Tank. Yeah. I just thought Roach was the more aggressive fighter. You can't take a knee in the middle of the fight because Floyd Mayweather did the exact same thing. He hit the guy with a punch, and he must have broke his hand, broke a knuckle or something, and he took a knee, and they gave him standing 8 counts.
He did. He took it.
Even with the situation with the 2 points, I still think it was a close fight. And I think it might have been a 1-point victory for Roach without the 2 points. But I definitely think Roach won the fight, and that's not to say Tank didn't fight well. Tank fought well. Tank fought like he always fights.
Boxing analyst Paulie Malignaggi weighed in on Tank Davis's fight against Lamont Roach, stating that while the official draw wasn't the worst decision, the knee controversy could have altered the outcome. He pointed out that if referee Steve Willis had ruled the knee a knockdown, Roach would have won by 1 point. Comparing it to Floyd Mayweather's bout against Carlos Hernandez, where Mayweather took a knee due to a hand injury and received a count, Malignaggi argued that Davis should have been held to the same standard. He also noted that Roach exceeded expectations, as Davis was a heavy favorite with 1,600 betting odds, suggesting Roach was supposed to be an easy opponent. However, Roach's strong performance made the fight much closer than anticipated, raising questions about Davis's dominance. Malignaggi even suggested that 6 or 7 lightweights in the division are better than Roach, casting doubt on Davis's resume at nearly 30 years old. Despite presenting himself as an elite fighter, Davis has yet to face the best in his division, and what was once seen as an easy win has instead fueled uncertainty about his true standing in the sport.
Now, as far as the knee goes, you've been in boxing for over 40 years.
Over 40. Yeah.
Have you ever seen anything like that? A guy takes a knee?
No. Now, that's something I didn't expect him to do. You know what I mean? You know, he took the knee, you know what I mean? And then ran to the corner and got his eyes right there. They never allowed that. They would have started counting. You know what I mean? I see that he started counting, then he stopped. You know what I mean? But you understand, you know, Tank got a lot of power. That show you right there, he got power.
Cash cow.
Yes,
Tank Davis's trainer addressed the controversy over Davis taking a knee, clarifying that he did not see it as a mistake or an illegal move. Instead, he framed it as a tactical decision, emphasizing that experienced fighters sometimes take a knee strategically rather than as a sign of weakness. Defending Davis's actions as part of the sport, he argued that it should not be punished and dismissed the criticism. Rather than focusing on the debate, he pushed for a rematch, believing the best way to settle the controversy is for Davis and Roach to fight again. When asked about Roach's rising stock, he acknowledged Roach's strong performance, but insisted that all of Davis's opponents benefit from fighting him. He suggested that facing Davis elevates a fighter's reputation, but remained confident that in a rematch, Davis would end the debate with a knockout victory.
That took Gervonta Davis a lot. Ultimately, I don't think the draw is the worst decision in the world. I think, you know, obviously Lamont overperformed here, or at least the look is that he overperformed. But I'll tell you where robbery can come into play. 2 scorecards were even. There's a knockdown not given to Lamont Roach. You know, Gervonta took a knee on his own. Let's remember when Mayweather did this against Carlos Famoso Hernandez years ago when his hand hurt, the referee counted him. So that was counted as a knockdown. Steve Willis is supposed to count that as a knockdown. If Steve Willis counts that as a knockdown, Lamont wins by 1 point on 2 scorecards. And that knee that Gervonta Davis took is becoming the difference on the scorecards. I don't think a draw is the worst result in the world. I will say this. There are at least...
Former world champion Zab Judah weighed in on the controversy over Tank Davis taking a knee against Lamont Roach, emphasizing that no one truly knows what Davis was feeling at that moment, making it unfair to judge him. He highlighted Davis's experience and understanding of the rules, arguing that he wouldn't have taken a knee unless something serious was wrong. While acknowledging that the knee wasn't caused by a punch, making it different from a typical knockdown, Judah pointed out that Davis voluntarily went down, suggesting it was a choice rather than something Roach forced. He also noted Davis's claim that grease was burning his eyes, stressing that if that was his reality, it shouldn't be dismissed. Although fighters aren't supposed to take a knee without being hit, Judah believed there had to be a valid reason behind it. He refused to debate critics, standing firm that only Davis truly knew what he felt in the ring, and viewed the moment not as weakness or a mistake, but simply as something Davis needed to do.
Taking that knee, or do you feel like this is something that it wasn't in boxing? It wasn't illegal. So I ain't gonna say it was a mistake. That's why I asked you guys that way. Like, do you feel like it was a mistake, or do you feel like no? This is a veteran move. This is stuff that happens in boxing. It happens in boxing. It happens in boxing. You know, what? It wasn't illegal. You know, just run it back. Just run it back. Shit. That's what told me is do. Run it back. Carry that shit like man. Run it back. Let's talk about that running back of the big rematch.
Boxing analyst Kevin examined the Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach fight, emphasizing how referee Steve Willis's handling of Davis's 9th round knee impacted the outcome. Yoli argued that while the fight was close, the knee should have been ruled a knockdown, which could have shifted the scorecards in Roach's favor. He noted that the first half of the fight was slow, with minimal punches landed, making judging difficult as rounds with little action often come down to personal interpretation. However, as the fight progressed, Roach proved much tougher than expected. Despite being a 16-1 underdog and moving up in weight, he stood his ground, landed solid punches, and never looked overwhelmed. Meanwhile, Davis appeared visibly affected by some of Roach's shots, raising questions about whether Roach actually did enough.
We know a guy like that in a fight of a magnitude like that, with him knowing the rules and regulation and him being as professional as he is, he know way better than to turn and take a knee because he know that's a knockdown. Unless it really was something that was tragic to what, you know, he had classified it to be like.
He said it was burning his eyes.
So we're gonna have to take that. We're gonna have to ride that out. You know, I know Lamont, everybody not gonna like that. They're gonna say Zach take a side and all that. Listen, we don't know. We don't know. It wasn't like he got hit or nothing. See, it's the difference if he got hit and rocked and then went down. Then we hold up. He took it on his own. Hold up. You know what I mean? Like that was. You know what I mean? So you gotta give him that. He didn't do it off a hit or force or off a force. Force was intended, then it happened.
The controversy peaked in the 9th round when Tank Davis unexpectedly took a knee, creating further confusion as he turned to his corner instead of preparing to continue. His trainer, Calvin Ford, even began climbing the ring steps with a towel, leading some to speculate whether he was considering stopping the fight. While the referee prevented Ford from stepping in, he also delayed restarting the fight, effectively giving Davis extra time to recover. Davis later claimed that grease from his hair gel got into his eyes, causing him to kneel. But analyst Yoli dismissed this explanation, emphasizing that boxing has no timeouts. He argued that once a fighter's knee touches the canvas, it should be ruled a knockdown, and by not enforcing that rule, the referee may have influenced the fight's outcome.
Nobody could have seen that coming. But a call by the referee in the 9th round was the difference in the fight, and that is really unfortunate. You can make an argument. Let's throw the 9th round controversy aside for a split second. You can make an argument on who you thought won the fight because the fight was very close. I had it 115-113 for Lamont Roach. One of the judges, Eric Marlinsky, scored it 115-113 for Tank Davis. Glenn Feldman and Steve Weisfeld had it 114-114. It was a close fight, and the first half of the fight was dreadful. And that's really, I think, where the fight was decided, because look at the first round. I have the CompuBox stats up in front of me going on. And then he turns and he goes to his corner, and you see one of his trainers, Calvin Ford, walking up the steps with a towel. Now, thankfully, referee Steve Willis did not allow Ford to work on him with the towel. Got him back in, but even when he brought him back, he didn't start the fight back right away. They had a little bit of a conversation, and Davis gets a rest. Davis later said that the reason he did that was the grease from his hair gel got into his eyes. Never heard that one before. And so that was why he took the knee. You can't do that. There are no timeouts in boxing, and basically he took a timeout. And the referee did not rule it a knockdown. When your knee hits the canvas, it is a knockdown. And the way the fight was scored, that would have been a majority decision win for Lamont Roach if it's called a knockdown. And it really was unfortunate the way it played out. So yeah, it was really something. I could not believe
Dear friends, enjoy my videos and subscribe to my channel for more content.